So anyways, this is gonna be a story time, boys and girls, whoever's watching it, children of all ages. Man, it is hot in here again. Hopefully that AC kicks on. So as you guys know, 2020 is arguably the worst year for all of us that are currently living. And I guess it's a little story time about when mine started to turn tables, right? So as many of you guys know, I lived in a small apartment, 1-bedroom apartment. It was like 500 square feet, maybe. It was probably like 430. Anyways, it was $445 a month. I loved that apartment because of how cheap it was. It was a little sketchy, but I loved how cheap it was. Well, fast forward, I ended up getting a girlfriend and a dog in 2019, and I just renewed my contract over at that place, and I realized that having that small of an apartment when you're single is amazing, but when you have a girlfriend and a dog who's living there, horrible. And so my girlfriend brought up the idea of going to a bigger place, and at first I was kind of against it because of how expensive getting a bigger place is, but you know, I eventually came to. She finds this really nice place, the place that I'm at right now, and we ended up liking it, and we ended up moving in the end of January, right? The end of January. You know, everything's going good. 2020 just started. You know, the start of the World War III mess was going on. Everyone was worried about that. That eventually goes away, and we just start hearing about coronavirus. Maybe. I don't know if we hit that yet. And my car. Oh yeah. Hold on. Before we get to that part, one night, Aaliyah and I went out grocery shopping, and we get there, we come back probably within 30 minutes. We live literally like, if you go around here, Walmart's like right there. So we don't live very far from Walmart. So it took us like 30 minutes. And we get back and my garage door is open. This is a red flag for anyone if your front door is open, your garage door is open, whatever. But this was especially a red flag because I used to leave Azula, my husky, in the garage because I don't like leaving her in a crate, and so I felt like the garage was a better solution. At this time, it's like January, she loves the cold weather. Put her in the garage, she has a little bit more space. Garage door's open, I was like, crap, did she figure out how to press the button to open the garage door? That was kind of my first thoughts. So my first thing was I went inside, grabbed the leash, because if I don't have the leash and I get her, it's like impossible to hold her down. So I grabbed the leash so if I did find her, I could put it on. And mind you, it is like sleeting / raining outside and it's dark. It's 8:30 or 9 o'clock at this time. And so I'm like freaking out, garage door's open, the husky's gone. I'm like, crap. So when I got out of the car to go inside to grab the leash, I left the car running with all our groceries in it because it was just like, dude, where's my dog? Leah went in and started calling the cops to let them know there was a missing dog. I go out for a few minutes. I'm like, no, I can't find her. I go back to the car. I grab my cell phone to go back out there because I'm like, what if Leah leaves to go find the dog and she can't get a hold of me? Like, let's say she left to go look for the dog, found her, and then I would be wandering out there pointlessly while she had her. So I went to the car, grabbed my phone real quick, and then I went back to looking for her. I went out, and so by the time that I got my phone and I went back out, I found her. So that was probably like 3 minutes max. 3 minutes max. So I grabbed my phone and I almost immediately found her. I leashed her up and I was so excited, I ran all the way back. And that's how I know it was like 3 minutes max. And by the time I got back, my car was gone. I was like, okay, Aaliyah probably went to go look for me or look for her, whatever. I go back inside, put Azula up, and I see Aaliyah's on the couch. I'm like, babe, where's my car? And she looks at me, she's like, what do you mean, where's your car? And I'm like, where is my car? And she at this point, my heart's dropped, and I'm like, dude, did we just get broken into? And like, they were here the whole time, and they just saw my car as an exit plan. So we're like, I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, it just got stolen. She's still on the police with them, and she's like, yeah, we just found our dog. And then she's like, when I came in there, she's like, okay, thank God we found the dog. And it very quickly turned into, hey guys, someone stole our car. in the same conversation. It wasn't like she hung up on the police, called them back. The same conversation, she's like, well, someone stole our car. I shit you not, dude. And I'm like freaking out because this is my first like new car, I guess. Because my first car I got when I was 16, it was a 2004 Taurus. It was terrible. And I think 17, I just turned 17 and I ended up getting this car. I just turned 18. 17 or 18. No, I think I just turned 18. So I had the Taurus for 2 years and I just turned 18 and I went and got this car. It was a 2014 Toyota Corolla. It wasn't anything special, but it was new when I got it, and it was nice, but at this time I had it for a few years. It was like 5 years old at this point, obviously, because this happened in 2020. I bought it when I was 18. And I'm like super emotional because it's like, dude, this is my car, right? I was really attached to it after all this time. And so the cops get there and they ask us a bunch of questions, and I'm like, I don't know what to answer you. I'm like, the only thing I can think of, my wallet was on the chair on the driver's seat, because I remember that because I went to go grab my phone off the driver's seat and my wallet was there with the phone. And I was like, guys, we need to hurry up because my wallet, it was laying on the thing. So I told the cops, I'm like, you need to send someone over to Walmart, make sure somebody's not using my credit cards over there. I'm like, dude, we need to do this because like it just happened. So they're still in the area, right? So they kind of get done with what they were doing, and me and Aaliyah, we start driving around, right? And at this time, like I said, it's like 9:15 maybe at this point. Like I said, we got there at like 9. It was like 9:15. It hadn't been that long at all. It happened, everything was just so quick that night. It was crazy. So we started driving around. About 11 o'clock, we got a phone call from a police officer saying they found my car and it was totaled, right? And there was no keys found and my wallet wasn't found. They took all my groceries that we just paid for and my wallet, and they still had and I got there and didn't have the best interaction with the police officers when I saw my car. The whole entire front end was messed up and I freaked out. I repeatedly hit the hood. I remember I hit it like 3 times and I'm cussing. I'm just belligerent at this point, and I walk away because I couldn't look at the car anymore, and the cops also told me to calm down, and that didn't help. So I walked away, and as I'm walking away from these cops, I say stuff like, if I find this guy, I'm going to kill him. And I'm screaming. It's not like I'm like talking to myself. I'm walking away and I'm yelling at the top of my lungs in this neighborhood, 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night at this time. I'm going to kill this guy. I'm going to find and I'm going to kill him. If he didn't die in this accident and a friend rescued him, I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to freaking kill this guy.
I'd have given anything to catch that asshole doing it. It'd have been worth him doing it, just so I could have caught him doing it.
What a fucker.
What's more chicken shit than fucking with a man's automobile? I mean, don't fuck with another man's vehicle.
You don't do it.
It's just against the rules.
I repeat, on repeat, and screaming this while the cops are in there. My girlfriend's like talking to the cops, and apparently the conversation that they had was, hey, if you don't get him under control, we were gonna have to arrest him for disorderly conduct or being loud in the neighborhood or something. Which is super ironic that they're going to arrest me, someone who just was a victim of a car theft, and they stole a credit card theft and also wrecked my car, and they're gonna arrest me, right? That night found out that they went to a Casey's. So then me and Aaliyah are on top of it with the cops. We're like, hey, they went to a Casey's, don't know which one, we gotta figure that out. We went to like 4 different Casey's, couldn't figure it out until later that we found out it was at 8th Street Casey's. Dude, this is such a long story because there's levels to it, because it was a lot of me and Aaliyah working with the cops. It was me and Aaliyah trying to figure this out and the cops standing by, right? They didn't care. Apparently, fast forward, they think car theft is at the bottom of the totem pole, which is why me and Aaliyah were doing most of the work. We found out they went to the 8th Street Casey, so we went and talked to them. We can't pull footage. Cops can only do that. And there's no footage out in the gas pumps, so they don't even know. There's only footage on the inside, so we couldn't get anything there. Found out he was at Springdale McDonald's that night. Got footage of him there. After we talked to everybody in McDonald's, not the cops, we did. We ended up telling the cops that he was there. They didn't know that he was there. We found out. They finally went to McDonald's, got footage there, and then couldn't do anything about it, right? Everything that we found, I found out which Casey's it was. I found out which McDonald's it was. I found out what he was wearing. Like, all of this stuff, right? And they didn't do anything. They finally find a guy, right? And they're like, they called me like weeks later. It was like almost a month later. They're like, so we found somebody who we think stole your vehicle, but we have to tell you we can't charge him for that because we don't know if he stole your vehicle. We can't charge him for your credit card theft because we can't prove that he stole your credit card. And I'm like, does he look like the video of the guy at Springdale McDonald's? Well, here's the thing, it's that guy, right? But to say that he stole that would be kind of stretching. What if a buddy of his stole your card and your car and your wallet and gave it to him that night? Just gave it to him, then he's fine. We can't charge him for that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna charge him for the car theft that we found because he stole someone else's car and that's how we found him. We're gonna charge him for that, but that's all we can do. We can do nothing for you. And I'm like, are you serious? The same guy that you saw in the McDonald's tape that is in a stolen vehicle that you arrested him for isn't going to be charged for mine. Like, it seems so cut and dry. Like, you think the car that you just found him stealing, that he just stole, is his first time and he didn't steal mine? But whatever, you know, and that was kind of the whole ordeal. The cops didn't do shit. Car theft is at the bottom. So what I've learned from this is that I could go outside, steal someone's car out of this driveway, wreck it, and then go use your credit card somewhere else, and I could get away with it. Even if I'm on fucking film at McDonald's with your credit card that I stole from your car, from the car that I stole, and totaled, by the way, and get away with it. So that's what I learned. Yeah, it's a pretty effed up situation, but there was some good that came out of it. I only owed like a little over $3,000 on it left, and I ended up getting like a little over $9 grand of a check for it. So basically, that $9 grand check paid $3,000 of it for my car to pay it off. So that left me with $6,000, and so that $6,000 I just used to reinvest in 2 more cars after that. I ended up buying a Scion, 3 cars, a Scion, flipped it, made $2 grand off of that. What was the next one? A CRV, I made like $1,300 off of that, and I ended up buying the car that I have now, which is a Toyota RAV. I bought that one for $6,500. So I made money off using that money as investment money, and then I used $6,500 to pay for this vehicle that I intended to flip, but I ended up keeping because I needed a vehicle, which I ended up liking this vehicle a lot more. I wish it had the sound system that I had. I could easily install that if I wasn't so cheap, but I love the Toyota RAV because it's more roomier, it's an SUV, can put my dog in there, can put a sound system if I want. So it ended up being an all right situation at the end of the day. The thing that sucked is the cops letting us down, right? They just did not have any care in the world about it. And that's the thing, it's like, I would understand if we were in like a city like Detroit, Kansas City, Chicago, or Memphis, where, you know, crime is running amok, murder is happening all the time. But this happened in Rogers, Arkansas. One of the safest cities in Arkansas. And that was a low priority case for them. Like, you cannot convince me that you cannot tell me that I'm being too hard on the police when it's Rogers PD. They literally have nothing going on in Rogers. What? Speeding tickets, but no murder, nothing big. And they want to tell me mine's a low priority case. Okay. Anyways, so that's my TED Talk. So I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you follow my Facebook page. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, add me on Snapchat, whatever, man. LinkedIn, something. Give me some love. Anyways, I'm going to press this button. Hopefully it stops.